Hey, welcome. So, when you think about Ramadan, the first thing that probably pops into your head is fasting, right? But the thing is, there's this whole other layer beyond just not eating or drinking. It's a layer that's built on these small, really intentional actions. So, let's dive into what that really means. And, it's a fair question. It's so easy to define fasting by what you're giving up. But is that really the whole story? Is Ramadan just about getting through the day without food or water? Or is there something more going on?
Well, the answer is a resounding no. The real beauty, the real spirit of the fast, isn't just in what you stop doing. It's in the positive, deliberate things you start doing. It completely shifts your focus from just enduring the day to actively engaging with it.
Okay, so where does this playbook of intentional actions actually come from? Well, it all goes back to a foundational concept in Islam that kind of gives us the blueprint for a fast that's way more meaningful.
And that foundation is the Sunnah. Now, what is that? Simply put, it's the way of life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Think of it as his example, the things he said, the things he did. It's like a guide for living a more purposeful life. And that definitely includes how to have a more purposeful fast.
All right, so let's walk through a fasting day, and it all starts way before the sun even comes up. We're talking about the pre-dawn meal, suhoor. And this isn't just about getting some calories in for the day. It's a genuine act of worship.
And we get this incredible insight about it from one of the Prophet's companions, a man named Anas ibn Malik. He gives us this really specific, almost poetic description of how the Prophet approached this meal. And this is where it gets super interesting. 50 verses. That's not a clock telling you it's 4:15 a.m. It's a measure of spiritual time. What it tells us is that they finished their meal right before the fast began, not, an hour or two earlier. And that very specific timing, it's packed with meaning.
So what can we pull from this one story? Well, there are three big things. First, just having suhoor is a good thing to do. Second, pushing it as late as possible is following the Prophet's specific example. And third, doing it this way is believed to bring a special kind of blessing called barakah into your entire day. Okay, let's jump ahead now, all the way to the end of the day. The sun's going down, the fast is over, and it's time for iftar. And just like the start of the day, the end of the fast has its own beautiful, intentional rituals. And for this, we look to another giant figure, the companion Umar ibn al-Khattab. He was really focused on making sure people held on to the small details he learned, and one of them was all about punctuality.
And the lesson here? It's so simple, but so profound. There's absolutely no extra reward for making yourself suffer longer than you have to. The second the sun sets, you break your fast. Period. It's this tiny little act of discipline, usually with just a date or a sip of water.
But wait, there's another layer to this moment. It's not just about getting that first taste of food and water. The companion Abdullah ibn Amr points out that this moment is a huge spiritual opportunity.
And wow, this is a huge deal. The teaching says that in that specific moment, when you break your fast, your personal prayer, your dua, is especially heard and accepted. It just completely elevates the physical act of eating into this deeply personal conversation with God.
Right. So everything we've talked about so far has been pretty personal, right? But that's only half the picture. Ramadan is also intensely about community. The blessings aren't just something for you to get, they're something for you to give.
And there's this amazing story about a companion named Sa'd ibn Ubadah that perfectly captures this. He basically took the spirit of Ramadan and turned his home into the center of generosity, feeding anyone and everyone who came to his door.
So what's the why behind this incredible generosity? Well, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, explained it with this beautiful idea. It's this kind of spiritual math where giving something away actually multiplies what you have. You get the full reward for your fast, and you get the full reward of the person you fed. So think about that. It's not a zero-sum game. Sharing your food doesn't cut your blessings in half. It actually doubles them. It creates more blessings for everyone. It's just a beautiful, simple formula for spiritual growth.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. We've gone from before sunrise to after sunset. We've seen how these little, intentional actions can completely change the whole experience of fasting. So let's put it all together. So here they are, our 5 key actions rooted in the Sunnah. You eat sahur, you delay it, you break your fast on time, you make that personal prayer at iftar, and you share your food with others. Each one is like a small brushstroke that helps create a much, much bigger and more beautiful picture. So when you put it all together, what does it mean?
It means Ramadan stops being this passive thing, this waiting game for the sun to go down. With these small but really powerful practices, the fast becomes an active, moment-by-moment engagement with your faith, with your community, and with yourself.
And that really brings us to a final thought, one that works for anyone, whether you're observing Ramadan or not. It's a question of intention. What's one small, deliberate thing you could do today to lift it up, to make it more meaningful? Thanks for digging into this